Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome back to the Wobble Enjoy Sports channel. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. If you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Not just because today is that day, but the Queensland Rugby League Women's BMD Premiership starts back up this weekend. Today is International Women's Day. I reckon today of all days is a pretty bloody good day to talk about the future prospects of the NRLW Cowboys, don't you reckon? For those who need to be brought up to speed, a couple of big moments happened throughout the off-season. Yes, the Cowboys have been given a license to thrill in 2023 and forevermore, fingers crossed, in the NRLW competition. Unfortunately, the CBA, it's been an ongoing thing. Things haven't been quite finalised, but terms have been agreed upon. We're just waiting for that final check marker to come through, and then we'll be on our way. We'll know when a start time is about, we'll know when preseason starts, and we'll know when some signings freaking happen for every single NRLW side. So waiting with bated breath on that point. But the other big talking point in North Queensland Women's Rugby League news is that throughout the off-season, a massive change occurred. So last year's BMD Premiership was won by the North Queensland Gold Stars. You friggin' beauty. It was won through a bomb by Sarah Field. Bouncing ball went straight into the lap of Shania Power, and she scored the try to seal the deal for the girls, which was fantastic, bringing home another trophy to Townsville, you know. But what's happened now is that the Gold Stars Cowboys and the Mackay Cutters have come up with a deal, and the Gold Stars are no longer going to be a team, but a huge chunk of that side are going to be playing as the Mackay Cutters in the Women's BMD Premiership campaign in 2023, and probably for forevermore. Mackay Cutters have been a staple in Queensland Rugby League for decades now, and for about 5 years now, they've really been pumping up their tyres as so far as trying to relay the message that they're ready for a women's side. Even if Gold Stars remain their own side, we've got enough talent down and around here in Mackay that we could field our own side in the QRLW BMD Premiership. So I'll be back in the Mackay Cutters forever now. I look at the Mackay Cutters jerseys and all I can see is Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. I personally would have loved to have seen the Gold Stars stay as the franchise, but you got to back your team, and I'll 100% be back in the Mackay Cutters. 17 players from the North Queensland Gold Stars winning side return to play under the Mackay Cutters logo. Unfortunately, the Mackay Cutters have had to let go of 16 of those premiership players from 2022. Therefore, 15 coming in, brand new players are coming into the Mackay Cutters for 2023. The reason why I am doing all this is because we are going to get a really good taste of what this Cowboys NRLW side is going to look like. And with a couple of these new names that have come about into the Mackay Cutters logo and jersey, oh man, there's a couple of really, really exciting players I'd like to highlight. But first of all, I want to name off the players that are returning for the Mackay Cutters that were once Gold Stars. Alicia Martin, Alicia Ford, Hagiga Mosby, Katie Green, Kayla Shepherd, Lauren Moss, Sarika Muka, Tallulah Tillett, Emma Manselman, you bloody beauty. We've got Zoe Cook, Samara Luta, Emily Bella, Theophilia Mosby Nona, who I was lucky enough to interview about 8 months ago now as part of Women in League Round with Cowboy Kate. So if you haven't seen that, please go check that out. I'll put a link in the description box below. Jasmine Peters, Elle Stitt, and for those who didn't know, there is a Rhiannon Revel Blair. There's a revel in the North Queensland Cowboys outfit. Sensational, bro. But the big one, the absolute mightiest, the absolute best keep that we've got in the Mackay Cutters this year, Romy Teitzel. At the 11th hour, she was picked up by the Mackay Cutters, and you can see it, you can hear it in my voice. I am so excited that Romy Teitzel is going to be playing for the Mackay Cutters in 2023, because while that doesn't lock her away into being a Cowboys NRLW player later on this season, because Teitzel and Emma Manselman were a part of the Newcastle Knights NRLW winning Premiership last year, it's just another step towards attaining those two massive signatures in Emma Manselman and Romy Teitzel. Just a handful of players that I want to mention that we lost or are not a part of the Mackay Cutters outfit in 2023. The big one for me is Sarah Field. I have not seen her name on any other BMD team list. I haven't seen her in any New South Wales Cup team list. I don't know where Gold Stars winning 5/8 from 2022, Sarah Field has gone. She was born in New South Wales. She did make a start down for the South Sydney Rabbitohs in 2020. So maybe she's barreled on back down to New South Wales, but I'm really not too sure. Apologies. And I don't want to put words in people's mouths either. I just don't know where Sarah Field is. So that's unfortunate, because she was a player favourite. The team absolutely loved her, and she had that important try assist in the grand final as well off of her boot. The other one, April Natupuna, she's now shifted over to South Logan Magpies. She's a prop. That was really good, but she's now doing her thing for the South Logan Magpies. And then we've got Geordie Mahendraraja. She is the fiance, girlfriend, wife of Jeremiah Nanai, and she's a back rower who did some really nice things for the Gold Stars in 2022, but she's not on any BMD Premiership list. She's not on any Harvey Norman Premiership list either. I'm not too sure what the go is with Geordie there. Shania Power, the lady who scored that match-winning try in the grand final against the Central Queensland Capras, she's actually playing for the enemy this weekend against the Mackay Cutters, but I'll get into that in a little bit as well. So we've lost 16 players from the Gold Stars outfit that played in 2022, which is a shame. The other last one that I want to touch on, Destiny Brill, who is the next great hooker in NRLW, or just behind Emma Manselman, just quietly. But Destiny Brill played for the Sydney Roosters, won the premiership for the Gold Stars last year. And look, Destiny Brill is just going to continue to be a success wherever she goes. Everything she has touched has just about turned to gold. So hopefully we can impress upon her that she'd be fantastic to come up to the Mackay Cutters and the Cowboys NRLW side when it does happen. But well, actually, it's probably not going to happen for the Mackay Cutters. But when the Cowboys NRLW side comes in, hopefully we can get Destiny Brill to come up, because she is electric. She is such a talent. Shifting over into the new players that we've got, I'm not going to name everybody because there are 15 new players to the Mackay Cutters North Queensland Gold Stars collaboration, but a couple of key ones. China Polota. She represented Tonga in that mid-season test match last year, and she is from South Logan Magpies as well. She's been about for about 3 years now, so she's got a little bit of experience behind her. You've also got, this is a good one, Shannon Mato, who is a Gold Coast Titans NRLW player. I think she's played for Queensland. I might need to be corrected on that. But Shannon Mato, she is a fantastic prop forward. She is an amazing player. That's a really good pickup for the Mackay Cutters as well. We've got a couple of Women's Academy players that have been coming through, a couple of Queensland under-19s Women's State of Origin representatives as well, in the shape of Laker Clark. We've also got Libby Surha, who was chosen to be a part of the Australian Prime Minister's 13 as well. And Xanthi Topping, she came through the Women's Academy from 2020 as well. And Casey Manselman, the sister of Emma Manselman as well, she's been about since 2020 as well. So it'll be cool to see how both the Manselman sisters go over the next year or so. But the big one, the big new recruit, But the big new recruit that I would like to highlight, though, comes in the shape of Newcastle Knights NRLW winning second row, front row player, Mackenzie Wheel. Mackenzie Wheel debuted for the Knights in 2022, and she absolutely killed it. Now, she didn't play, but she was named as 18th woman in that game in the grand final against Parramatta. So I am so happy. That is such a good signing because Mackenzie Wheel, man, if you know what I'm talking about, I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time. But Mackenzie Wheel, watch this space, bro, because if she's going to be a Cowboy come the kickoff of NRLW season 2023, watch this space, bro. As stated before, the BMD Premiership starts this weekend, and the Mackay Cutters are the defending premiers. And this is how they line up. In fullback position, China Pallotta. The wingers are Katie Green and Lauren Moss. Lauren Moss, maybe you remember from about a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, actually. But Lauren Moss scored a viral try where she scooted up the ball on the final play of the game and ran the entire length of the field to score a try for the North Queensland Gold Stars. I think that was in 2021, actually. But good to see that Lauren Moss is back. I think it was an ACL injury, but she suffered a long-term injury that's kept her out of the game. So good to see Lauren Moss back. We've also got Hagiga Mosby and Alicia Martin in the centres, Kayla Shepherd and Tallulah Tillett. Tallulah Tillett, who has represented Newcastle Knights and NRLW side in the past. She's the halfback for the Mackay Cutters this weekend. So that entire back line, by the way, for the exception of China Pallotta, that is all North Queensland Gold Stars. And that's really what it is. That's really what this Mackay Cutters side is that the back line, the backs, the centers, the wingers, fullbacks, most of the Gold Stars are in this Mackay Cutters squad. The forward pack, however, is, while there's a sprinkling of ex-Gold Stars, it's by and large a brand new forward pack, or a forward pack that is going to be known to everybody by the end of the weekend and by the end of the season in particularly. So the back line is familiar to me. The front row forwards, well, there are a couple of names that do ring a bell. There are a few names that it's by and large more of a new forward pack for the Gold Stars in comparison to last year. So going into the forward pack now, Xanthi Topping, Sarika Muka. Sarika Muka impressed out of sight. I think she won the most improved Cowboys NRLW player, or Gold Stars player, I should say. Sarika Muka is an absolute talent, and she was so good in the most recent edition of the Indigenous All-Stars game. She was fantastic for that Indigenous side, so keep an eye out for Sarika Muka. She's probably going to be one of the first 5 that we probably sign pen to paper. Sarika Muka, look out for her. The back row, Zoe Cook, Mackenzie Wheel is starting in second row, and Shannon Mato is in the lock position as well. The rest of the bench, Alicia Ford, Laker Clark, S.A. Banu, Samara Luta, and then 18th woman is Romy Teitzel. Ah, man. So she will be playing at some stage throughout the season. But yeah, man, I'm going to be down there to support the Mackay Cutters. It's going to be my only opportunity to see them play, see them in person, and maybe even shake their hands and say thank you very much. But the team that they're coming up against are no slouches as well. They're going up against the Wynnum Manly Seagulls from Kugari Oval in Wynnum Manly, and the fullback for the Seagulls, Julia Robinson, State of Origin representative, Emily Bass, a Broncos player that has come out of nowhere over the past year or thereabouts. Also, Shaylee Bent, the girlfriend, fiance, wife of David Fafita. She's playing for the Wynnum Manly Seagulls, and why that's interesting to note is that she is a New South Wales State of Origin player. There have been talks that the Canberra Raiders are desperate for her signature in particular, but she's playing for a Queensland side, so maybe it's not David Fafita that was going to move to Canberra for the Raiders. It's actually Shaylee Bent that the Raiders are going to miss out on, which is potentially, I'm not putting words in people's mouths, but Damn, man, that could be an awful, awful loss already for the Canberra Raiders NRLW franchise as well. Also, Karina Brown is playing on the wing, and a handful of players as well that are familiar to me, but will become more familiar to you and I as the season progresses. So, the road to the 2023 NRLW season starts now, as far as I'm concerned. I will probably not do previews or reviews consistently, but I will do a video weekly, but it will probably swap and change between preview and reviews, just depending on my schedule. But this is something the Mackay Cutters BMD Premiership side, that they are a team that I am going to promote. They are a team that I'm going to watch as much as possible, if not every single game. And yeah, that could be because this Mackay Cutters side is the first step towards that Cowboys NRLW side. And again, Emma Mantelman, Romy Teitzel, those were two of the big priorities for me and probably for many other Queenslanders or North Queensland fans as well. And they're playing for Mackay Cutters, the feeder club, this weekend. That's one step away. It's one step away from being locked in. So I hope you all enjoyed that video. I just thank you very much for tuning in and letting me wobble me jaw about North Queensland Rugby League again. And I'll be doing it plenty more times as well. I'm very, very keen to follow the Mackay Cutters and see what happens, see who impresses, who could potentially be a North Queensland Cowboys NRLW player when the time comes. So thank you very much for the continuous support. Happy International Women's Day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night with Hold the Ball as we do a live watch along on this channel for Penrith Panthers versus South Sydney Rabbitohs. Take care. Adios.